Welcome back to Collision Course. In this video, we will be going over the program phase, as well as getting into the move phase so that you know what you're programming. In the program phase, you will receive a number of cards equal to your program stat. So in this example, I have 4 program, so I will draw 4 program cards. Each player will also receive 2 rotate cards. Once all players have their hand of cards, they can look at their cards and set them how they want. The program deck consists of, it goes from 1 to 4 force, as well as there are some 0 force rotate cards. These are different than the special rotate cards, which do not say 0 force on the front. That is how you differentiate if it is a program rotate or a rotate, is by the 0 force on it. What you're going to do with these cards is you are going to set a certain number of them. In an easy game, you're going to set 3, a medium, you're going to set 4, and in a hard game, you're going to set 5. This is why on the basic part, there are different starting program stats, because if you're trying to set 5 but only have a starting program of 4, well, it's not going to work. And so once you have the correct number of cards, you can start setting them. What these do is give you that much force. Every time your force goes past your weight, you will be getting motion. So because I have, this machine has 7 weight, I'm not going to be getting any motion from this 4, but I will be keeping this force. So after I do another 3, that'll equal 7, getting me a motion, which I will walk you through in a minute. What I could do alternatively is put a rotate with a program card. So because they are different, you can put them together. You must put one program card, so I can't just take this rotate card and put it there instead of a program card. You must have at least one program card in each set position. But you may attach a rotate card to a program card. Only one rotate card may be attached in this way per register, so I could put another rotate card there if I really wanted. And that's the advantage with these being program cards, is it allows you to rotate without putting another program card there. Or it allows you to effectively do nothing. Once you have set all of your programs, the remaining cards in your hand will go into the appropriate discards. Players can also leave the game during the program phase, in which you would do their machines as if they had done all of their program cards as 2 force cards. Once you have all your programs set and everybody else has their program set, you can go on to the move phase, in which you take the first one that you've set and you do the adjusting. So I have 4 force here, so I'm going to gain 1, 2, 3, 4 force. Now, nothing else happens here because I did not go above my mass. Once everybody's done that, then you move on to checking for collisions, moving, and the board phase, but I will cover that in another video. We're just going to keep it simple in the movement phase. So then, players will get back to their second register and do what that one says. So I would get 1, 2, 3, in which it hits my mass, and I go back to 0. Now, every time you move it back to 0, you take your motion track meeple and you move it forwards 1. So because my meeple is facing that direction, I gain that motion that way. if he was facing a different direction, I would be getting motion that way. Now that I have motion here, looking at the move phase after we've adjusted, now you actually move. And so I see that I have one motion in that way. So I would take a one measurement stick. Now, with this, I can tell that nobody's going to run into me, so I don't really need to use this in this situation, but it's good to get in the habit. One movement, nope, I don't collide with anything, so I move my guy one space. Everybody else will also be doing this, so if this blue player had motion, then they would be going wherever their motion stated. And then, once everybody's done that, and again, the friction convey step, then you go on to the third one. With this one, I can choose whether I want to apply the force or do the rotate first. Because I've done the rotates both the same, I would choose which order to do the rotates in. And so what I would do is for the rotate left, I would turn my motion track meeple that way, as well as turning my board meeple that way. Note that I kept it in the same spot, as you always keep the motion that you have. Then, because I have this other one, I would do the exact opposite, rotating that way and rotating that the same way. After doing this, we see I still have one motion from the previous register, and so I would continue by moving my guy one space. Once everybody's done all of their cards, you would get rid of these and go back into the board phase. So, looking a little bit more in depth into some of the weirder scenarios. For example, if this 3 was another 4. So I had 4, and now I'm going to get another 4. Well, I would go 1, 2, 3, it resets, and I keep counting. 4. If I only had one of these, so if I didn't put that other rotate there, well, he would stay sideways, but he would still go one space in that direction, because that is what this says. When looking at your motion track, you're not looking at the number for how far you're going. The numbers tell you which measurement stick to use. You actually need to count out how many spaces you're moving based on where your meeple is. So in future rounds, if you get more motion and it would go there, well, then you're going diagonally. One space diagonally. You can still use the measurement sticks. They do fit in the diagonal, and they can line up with the tapering at the edges. Now, if I had a part with extra engines, so if this was now at 2, I'm just going to adjust all of them so that you can see what exactly is going on. And let's run through another set. Let's say that I've set the exact same things here in another program phase. We'll say that I'm still going that way. And so let's look. For force, well, now I've got 2 engines, so that 4 is multiplied by 2, giving me 8. And so I would take it, and I would go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It resets, getting me a motion. Meaning now I'm moving 2 spaces every round. So, the downside of having engines is you do have a maximum speed. If I'm already at this maximum of 4 motion, and let's say that I already have some force. Well, now, if I'm getting 3 times 2, 6 force, I go 1, 2, 3, 4. Normally, it would reset, and I would gain a motion, but I can't. So it stays at this 8. You've now charged a motion. When you turn, you're going to have some motion, and I'll get to that in a second. But then, with that extra, what did I say? I started at 4, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, then your yellow will go up that extra amount instead, so 5, 6. Then you would do your motion, and it would go on. So now, if I were to do this, rotate left, well, now I rotate left, and now it can go forwards 1. So I take this blue, reset it, and I would use that charged motion. This guy would now be there, and again, he's moving 4 in that way and 1 in that way. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, or using the measurement stick, it would be like that. The other thing when looking at your movement step, other than collisions, is friction. On your motion track, if you are going sideways, so what that means is because my guy here is going this way, he does not want to go that way. So he is effectively only going 1 space forwards, but 4 spaces sideways. So after you have moved, you do friction, which means you take your motion and you lose 1 motion in the sideways direction. Now, if he was only going perfectly straight, well, then there's no sideways motion, so he wouldn't lose more because now he's going sideways in the other direction. If he was facing that way, well, then his sideways motion would be in the other directions, meaning I would reduce 1 motion that way. Again, if you had gotten to the maximum speed and had charged force, when friction applies, that's when you would change your force back to 0 and apply that extra motion there to be used in the next round. With friction, depending on the difficulty, it is related to your weight. So because on this machine I've got a lot of weight, I'm going to receive more friction. For every 5 weight, you get 1 friction. So because I have 8 weight, that means I'm getting 2. It always rounds up. So it would be 2 spaces back on the motion track. Your guy on the board is not affected by friction. It is only your motion track meeple that is affected by the friction. And that concludes the program and move phase. I will get into the collision part of move phase in the next video.